this cup final loss. Dumfries. Swinging through was Pellegrini. Will stay with Inter. Well, it was their first Coppa Italia final in a decade, and the Nerazzurri did not disappoint. A dramatic Derby d'Italia edition of the Coppa Italia final, and it goes Inter's way. Goals by Nicolo Barella, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and an extra time brace by Ivan Perisic to beat their derby rivals in a final. Inter 4, Juventus 2. And the streets of Rome will be black and blue.
Big congratulations to Inter. An important trophy that cements the success of Simone Inzaghi after the adversity that this team faced last summer. They've been competitive, they've been fighting for the Scudetto, and they made it all the way to the Coppa Italia final, facing some tough tests along the way. And once again, they were victorious. Overall, it's all smiles from the very top to Inzaghi, the big step up he made in his career, and all the wonderful individual performances that he's had from his players.
Well, there were goals by Morata and Vlahovic to make a game of it for Juve, but it's Inter who celebrate 4-2 final. And the second trophy of the season in hand for Inzaghi's Inter, still in line for a potential domestic treble. Let's go back to Poppy Miller in studio.
Well, wow, what scenes there in Rome. Inter have done it. They are Coppa Italia champions. The game really came alive in the second half, and then Inter just showing another gear in extra time.
Yeah, they showed the quality, they showed the depth. We got 6 goals in an unbelievable final. Juventus showed their teeth. It was a really fun match to watch, but in the end, I think Inter, the stronger team, the deserved champion. Unfortunately, through penalties, which changed the game, which we'll talk about, but I think the better team won in this game.
I definitely agree with that, especially in the extra time. As we said, the depth and the firepower that Inter have, the game changers, and Ivan Perisic and co. is just too strong for this Juventus side, and they really put themselves into the next gear. Juventus did a great job holding on. Then that penalty kick in the first half really changed the match for them.
Well, the quest now continues, doesn't it, for the domestic treble for Inter. It's not ideal that they had to play extra time given the importance of their game this weekend, but do you think this really could be a catalyst now for Inter to push for that Scudetto still, Mike?
Oh, certainly. Now they're playing a little bit with house money. They still want to go get the Scudetto, but this is unbelievable for their confidence, for their energy. They didn't really struggle too much in extra time. You know, they kind of got the goals very quickly, and world-class goal from Perisic. So I don't think they wasted too much energy. They had a 2-goal lead for the second half of the...
in particular to Brozovic, but it was really Perisic the standout tonight, Marco.
Yeah, honestly, I know a couple days ago we were talking only Brozovic for Inter. Honestly, I'm starting to rethink myself and look at Perisic. I mean, he is phenomenal in everything he does. And it's not just because of the goals that he scores. Honestly, it's the work rate, it's the hustle, it's the assists, it's the crosses that he puts into the box, and the spirit that he brings to this team. He is maybe one of the most important players in this squad now, and you could see what it means to them. This momentum going forward in this Scudetto race, I think is going to be massive.
It's been incredible, hasn't it, the turnaround in this team, given the key figures that they lost coming into this season, and for the fans to get to see this, the travelling fans, after what was such a hard year with COVID, for them to see these scenes here in Rome. Special moment, Bella.
For me, it's a special moment for anyone who loves football, special moment for Italian football fans, for Juventus fans, for Inter fans. This is a great moment to be back in the stadium, witness a final in Italian soccer with 6 goals. Both teams really wanted it, really pressed the game. It was just so fun, and it's amazing that we're back at this point.
And then on the other side of that, for the first time in 11 years, Juventus suffer their first trophyless season. Max Allegri got shown a red card. I mean, things just spiraled out of control for them there.
They did. I think all control was lost after Lautaro Martinez earned that penalty kick. And, you know, they were in 2-1. I think they thought that they were going to be able to see this match out. And, you know, honestly, coming into this season, after Ronaldo left and after those pieces were lost, thinking about November, December, I didn't think Juventus would win a title. They did a really great job, I think, in managing the beginning of this match and coming back and showing that fight. But ultimately, for me, Inter is way too... That shows it's not just a one and done. This is the 3rd time in this year. They're a fantastic club.
Yeah, Juventus, how do you assess this season? Disastrous, would you go that far?
No, I don't think it's disastrous. And listen, at the beginning of the season, not so long ago, Juventus was saying, okay, we're going to invest the money, we're going to build to win the Champions League. The Scudetto was almost a second thing on their mind. That was the mindset, that was the level that they were at. And now we're looking at a Juventus that's a little bit lost, lucky to get in the top four. After the first month or so of the Serie A season this year, Juventus they did not play well, they didn't get results, they were dropping points to smaller teams. So if you look at it from the perspective of after the first 2 months of the season, they've done a good job to steady the ship, get enough to get into the Champions League next year. Now they have an off season that can change everything for them. But if you look back just a little while ago before this season started, their expectations were much, much higher than what they've accomplished.
Does that show how much they've regressed though? And even though Dusan Vlahovic gets on the score sheet tonight, again, it's not enough.
No, 100%. I agree, Poppy. I think that, a club like Juventus, a team like Juventus, they always need to win a title in a year. And of course, that's easier said than it is.
This is their first trophyless season now in 11 years. I mean, how do you think they'll reflect on this season as a whole? And just walking up here, Matteo, they feel hard done by today, or the better team obviously come through in the end on top?
I think the entire season will be seen ultimately.
To get their celebration, we saw the scenes, we saw what it meant to the fans there, but on the other side of that, all the disappointment for Juventus, and it's starting to look like it could be another good year for Inter.
They had to do. We said that they needed to win this trophy. I think that they're the better team. They deserve to win it. And this is the momentum they need with 2 matches to go. We know that they don't control their own fate, but they need to go and still win their 2 games. I think that this gives Inzaghi his out where he can say, hey, listen, I won the Super Coppa. I won the Coppa Italia. If he misses out on the Scudetto, what does he miss out on? A couple of points?
How much credit do you give to Inzaghi, Grella?
Yeah, you have to give him credit. But, but look, it's just so beautiful. Look at the trophy. It's beautiful. The national anthem is beautiful. We got 6 goals. Good for Italian football. Looks really good. Yeah,
it was a cracking match, wasn't it? If you're a neutral out there, you must have absolutely loved it. Even more so if you're an Inter fan. Let's take you over to Rome and just enjoy the moment here with them lifting the Coppa Italia.
Si aggiudica la Coppa Italia, Freccia Rossa, l'Inter.
Story all season long. Inter are the better side. They have a clear identity. I think they're well managed by Simone Inzaghi, so it's not surprising in the end.
And how many times this season are we going to see from Juventus individual mistakes causing the problems? They've had, how many penalties was it that they've given up to Inter this year?
They've given up 4 penalty goals. Out of the 8 goals, 50% of them